Tell me you guys can hear me. Hi. I hope y'all can hear me. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm a little under the weather, so I got a little cough drop and some tissue and some water over here. Hi. Okay, y'all can hear me. Great. Hey, guys. Hey. Okay, 7 p.m. Listen, we are punctual over here. We are punctual and on time. We are professionals. I know, I'm a little under the weather. It was so much colder in LA than I thought it was going to be. So, not you and Bowie are my fave floaters. Okay, so you know what? You know what we not about to do? You know what we're not going to do? Is play today. Hey, Steph. Oh, yes, we were watching your live. We watched your TikTok live finale night, Steph. We just waiting for Mama Fee, y'all. Thank you, guys. See, y'all being messy already. Yeah, I know. I texted her and told her that I was on, so she should be coming. And I have all of the questions that y'all put in my broadcast channel. Y'all messy. I just want y'all to know that y'all are messy. Hey, Gab. Wait, Mama Fee. She should be on this one. Misery. Hey, girl. Hi. Cause okay, let's see. I keep checking to see if she's on here. Mama Feet, I told her don't go. I told her that I was gonna go live and she had to join. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Okay, can I play the song? Oh, she has heard the song, but let's get a confirmation from her that she's actually heard the song. I wanted to tell her to follow you, so how? Y'all, I don't think I can text and be on live at the same time. Let me see if I can pause real quick. Hold on. Let me see if I can pause real quick. Fucking boy Jane, fucking boy Jane. Fucking boy Jane, fucking boy Jane. I keep thinking she on here. Not when she's singing live. Oh, not y'all taking requests like it's a chart topping hit. I'm screaming. Girl, y'all are so funny. We need makeup tutorials. Okay, get into the face, girl. This was a quick little... Y'all, let me text Mama Fee, y'all. We'll be able to hear you. Okay, just text Mama Fee. Let me see if she's here. Y'all talking about call her. Yeah, I can't listen. We can't be doing all of that. We gonna get it together, okay? I literally just text her. Okay? Listen. No, she's not on TikTok. I told her we on Instagram tonight. And speaking of TikTok, go and follow us both on TikTok so we can go live on TikTok. Let me see. I'm checking. The real Jared Fields. What's up, Brody? What's up? Fee is officially invited, okay? Mama Fee is officially invited. TikTok is mimi.hayes. Same as my IG, just with the dot in the middle. Mimi.hayes. What's up, brother? Yeah,
Mama Fee is invited. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Actually, level 30. I was literally just text her way read the message. Okay, she just read it. So hopefully she's
coming in. And you know Mama Fee got her red receipts on. I'm screaming. Red receipts are on. Hold on, wait a minute. What did it say? Okay. Hi to Hawaii. Ah, yes, my hill friends. Hi, friends. Yes, the red receipts are on. Yeah, y'all know the red receipts are on. Did we expect anything less? What else could we have expected? Of course, the red receipts.
Ah! Of course the red receipts are on, girl. I expect nothing less from Mama Fee. Okay, let's see. Is she in here? Let me see what she texted on, y'all. Let me see what Mama Fee texting. Hold on.
I hope that's appropriate way to explain that. She said she thought I was calling her no Mama Fee sister. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Okay, let's run this back. Not on CP time. Y'all are messy. Okay. Mama Fee!
Meme.
Hey!
You know I'm crazy. You know what I was doing.
I said you gotta go to my page, go to the picture I got, and just click on it.
Girl,
And it just
the
show up.
social media stuff is taking me down. I'm learning.
You listen, your little videos are so cute. I said, okay, Mama Fee, I see you, girl.
I'm trying to get my TikTok live, but I got to get to 10,000 followers.
I know what. Tell them
I
your
did. I
TikTok
went out
live
on my
so they can
Instagram
follow.
and said, hey, I need y'all to go to TikTok and go live for or follow me so I can get to 10,000 and I can start doing some videos every day.
Well, tell them again. So since they hear, they want to
Okay,
know.
so
What's the TikTok
name
live
is
thing? What's the name
Mama
of
Fee.
TikTok? Oh, oh, you start going out, Mama Fee. Right in the middle of it. Mama Fee. And now all of y'all requesting to be in the video. Hi, my love. Let me text Mama Fee and tell. Hold on, y'all. Let me text her and tell her.
She's
Katura, hi, my dear. I told her she was frozen. Come on, lipstick. Okay. Cute little red lipstick. You better come through with the red lipstick, Mama Fee. I'll text her and told her that she was frozen. Hold on.
Uh, uh, uh. Mama feet, girl, you gotta get unfrozen for us.
You gotta get unfrozen for us. We need you to get unfrozen. Come back. Give it a little Tony Braxton. Come back to me.
Come back to me. Oh. Wait, let me see what she texts, y'all.
Frozen, we can't see her. Come back to me. I just text her. Yeah, okay, y'all hear a little Tony. It's giving, is it not giving Tony Braxton? Y'all might need to put me on the FBJ remix. Fucking boy Jane, 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 fucking boy Jane. I said fucking boy Jane. Am I frozen too, or can y'all see me?
Can y'all see me? Yes. Yeah. A little Tony tease. Okay, I'm guessing y'all can see me because y'all responded. So y'all can see me. Okay, great. It's giving Beyonce. Yes, it's giving Beyonce.
Fucking boy Jane, fucking boy Jane, fucking boy Jane, fucking boy Jane, fucking boy Jane. Okay, Mom. I think Mama Fee might be back. Let me re-invite her. Mama Fee, if you can hear me, please hang up and re-add so I can re-add you.
Fucking boy Jane, fucking boy Jane. Child, my throat. My throat. Okay, y'all, we back. And we're back.
Am I in there?
There she goes.
Girl, this is too much. You know, my damn head hurts. Oh,
Wait, why Jair not helping you with this? All of this.
Jair at work.
Oh, oh, you
Well,
look so
what's been
pretty.
going on, Mimi?
Oh, I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. Just trying to get acclimated back home, answering a lot of calls, videos, trying to get my social media stood up. So, that's my biggest challenge.
Mm-hmm. Same, me too. Just try to get with my hubby, try to get reacclimated, get ready for the holidays. We saw you were in the kitchen earlier. What you cooked earlier?
We had some rotisserie chicken because, I try to cook. Remember I told you I usually try to cook during the week. We try to cook dinner before Jair goes to work so he can have a meal before he go to work, and then he can buy his fast food later on when he get off work.
Okay.
So some rotisserie chicken. That's why I want to get my my TikTok up live though, so then I can actually, I'm gonna get one of them lights and have it in the kitchen on the counter and start showing myself cooking in the kitchen.
Okay, listen. So many people told me to ask you, are you making a cook video? The people need something. They want to know, is Mama Fee coming out with a cookbook? I said, okay, let me ask.
Well, I hadn't really thought about it, but maybe I just will.
Listen, I'll be here for it. I told you I'm coming to get my wife's lessons.
Okay.
I need to learn how to throw down greens, I need to learn how to throw down. So I'll be coming to get my wifely lessons. Okay.
Come on. I'm there.
So I'm here for it. Wait, you've been out of the house for what? A full week now, right?
We got back Sunday, so it actually hasn't been a full week. Well, yeah, it hasn't been a full week. We got back here Sunday.
So you've been home for a good 5 or 6 days. Have you watched anything back yet, or you seen little clips, or what happened?
I've watched some live feeds, and I'm telling you, my feelings is a little hurt watching some of these crazy live feeds.
Ooh.
And I actually just finished watching episode 2. So I'm just, every couple of days I'll watch an episode or 2 and just see the episodes. But Dwayne, I'm telling you, remember I was saying, oh no, they ain't watching live feeds. Girl, all my family, my friends, they said they never turn the TV off.
Listen, my husband was the same. I was like, my husband probably ain't watching the live feeds. He ain't watching live feeds before oh yeah, no, they are watching those. Okay, so what has surprised you the most that you've learned since coming out and watching a little bit? Like, what are you most surprised by so far?
Well, actually, it's just what I thought. From day one, people were establishing alliances. I mean, but we didn't realize how deep those alliances were really going. The lies started on day one.
Oh, yeah.
Day one. And so while everybody kept saying, oh, it's too soon to align, we shouldn't do this and we shouldn't do that, man, people was rocking and rolling from the very beginning. I just didn't realize how tough they really were. And I don't know how I didn't pick up that Jared was Cerise's son.
Well, you know what? I think for the viewers, it's easy for them to they know. Right. So they're like, how do you not know?
Right.
But for us, I wasn't looking for that.
Exactly.
So unless you're looking for it, then you would know. But I personally wasn't looking for it. So I literally, until Julie told me, I didn't have a clue.
And see, that's what I told Dwayne. I said, you don't go in the house believing that somebody has a relative in there.
Mm-mm.
So you ain't looking for that.
No.
And so even though I said, but as soon as they said it and I looked at them, I said, oh my God. And they look exactly alike. But still, you're not thinking. I don't go in looking around saying, oh, I bet that's her son. Oh, I bet that's their daughter. You never registered. Never.
When I was evicted and Julie told me, I said, oh, Julie!
Girl.
And I said, so much stuff makes sense now.
Yes. Remember, I kept trying to figure out, what is it? I thought I had a connection with Jared, and then all of a sudden it was like he shifted to Cerise. What is that? Well, that was his mama. Had I known that, I'd have played that game completely different.
It was crazy.
So she's offended thinking I'm trying to take the place of mama, and she mama.
Listen, when I tell you I was shook. Okay.
Shook.
I was shook when I was shook. I was like, oh, so many things. The first thing that I thought about was the wall comp. And remember the wall comp, and look, Jared just joined. Jared, we talk about this twist chat. We didn't know that mystery was your mama, Jay Bleezy, on the wall comp. I remember the wall comp. Jared won. And I remember her like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
And I turned around, I was looking like, oh, Miss Marie's so excited. That is her son.
Her son. We even sat over there and she did a come on God and we prayed. And then the next thing you know, he won. But what I didn't realize is when I said, oh my God, he reminds me so much of Jair. This is my son in the house. You my second son. I was offending her. And it makes sense because that was her real son.
Well, I don't know if it was offensive, but the fact that they knew and we didn't know, it was just like, listen, I had no idea. And as soon as Julie told me, the first thing that I thought back to was the wall comp. I was like, oh my God, I remember how hard she was cheering. during the walk-off.
Yes.
And that was this to me.
And I remember how hard she was cheering when they did the zombies.
Yeah.
And I remember, I also remember when, you know, seeing it, watching back and realizing that Izzy picked up on it as soon as she walked in the house and was goofy enough to go tell him, I know that's your son. I know Cerie's your mama. I'd have kept that to my damn self. I'd have known it as a secret and never let him know I knew.
You know, the crazy thing is that I've seen all of her seasons on Survivor and had seen the family episodes.
Yes. Me too.
That just never registered to me. Like
never.
It literally never registered to me. Well, listen, you know, you're a whole icon out here. Like that, when I came out, I'm like, oh, Mama Fee is it's not even an icon for the reasons that you think. It's not because you, one of 3 women to win HOH. You the blockbuster child. You got all of us on up out of there. You made it to Final Four, all of the odds stacked against you. It is because you have this viral, in my mind, chart-topping song, fucking boy Jay, fucking boy Jay, fucking boy Jay, fucking boy Jay.
I saw that and said, OMG. And I'd be hollering. I said I need to upload that thing to my page and just have it sitting out there. But I've got, I've started Cameo and I've already done I got like 20 requests. I still got about 6 or 7 to do. And just people are like, oh my God, Mama Fee, you were so entertaining and just, I'm glad I was actually just able to bring a smile to people's face. That's all I really wanted to do. And I feel like I stayed true to me as much as I could. I ain't saying I never lied, but I tried my best not to let that be my game. And so, I know some people were offended. Some people like you, some people don't. You can't do nothing about that. I just did the best to play my game and to be me authentic.
Listen, and let's talk about the mics though. Okay, so can you confirm for us, Mama Fee, how many mics did you have from premiere night until Final Four? How many mics did you have altogether?
5. I dropped 3 right off the bat. I think the first week I dropped 3. Then I fell in the tub. That was the 4th one. And then a week or so later, I did a 5th one. So I dropped 5 mics before it was all said and done. I was afraid they was going to start taking a stipend from me.
When listen, they might, when you get that check and it's a couple $100 short, you know why.
I know why. It's for the microphone.
You know why it's a couple $100. I am screaming. That is so funny. Listen, so now that you have you had time to reflect yet on game moves and certain things that happen in the game, or you still just taking in all the information yet? Because I done did some reflecting.
I have done some reflecting in the sense that I realized I really did talk too much, but I knew that when I was in the house.
Maybe just a tiny bit,
just a little bit. I fed too much information to people. Aside from that, if I went back, I'd probably play pretty similar the same game. Just be slower to try to align with people and really get to know who people are, so I get a better feel for when they telling the truth and when they lying. Because I realize that, it's crazy. All along, I actually really truly believed I had some of these friendships that now looking at some live feeds were never really there. You were the most genuine person in the house to me and for me. And girl, you don't know how I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
That's for real. That's for real, Mimi. I even had a couple of my girlfriends that I was in the military with. They called me today and they said, just so if you want to tell us, they said, who do you actually think was really the truest, loyal, friendliest person to you in the house that you think you'll stay friends with? I said, Mimi. I said, Mimi is probably the only one in there that I can say I truly trusted and believed in. I said, and in the beginning, I wasn't sure where we stood because after Kirsten got sent out, I said, I thought they were kind of close. So we were kind of treading water, not knowing where you stood and knowing how tight you wanted to get and all of that. And it was probably about week 4 or 5 before I actually felt like I could really connect with you.
Mhm.
And after that, once you and me connected, once that Izzy thing happened, it was you and me all the way. It was
Uh-huh.
you and me all the way. Because even though I was still rolling with Sari and Jared, and I don't know if Jared is still live on here, but even though I really wanted to believe in them, my gut was always telling me I was getting thrown under the bus. It always. And I think that's why I had a hard time staying true to them, because I never totally trusted them after that.
Do you remember the conversation that we had? This may have been the week. This may have been the week that you or Izzy were on the block, like before, like the vote was flipping and all of that.
Yeah.
And you were sitting on my bed, and I think this is before the veto, actually, because
Yeah.
we have to. This is before the veto, and you were like, something in my gut is telling me that this brown sugar babe thing isn't as solid as we think it is. And I was like, no, I don't think so. I remember us having that
Yes,
conversation.
absolutely.
No, I don't think so. Like, I think we're good. Like, I think everything is okay. I think we were in a good space. And then this is before the veto. So then, like, on Tuesday, I have that conversation with Corey, and Corey's like, oh, well, the plan is to evict Mama Fee over Izzy, and this is at the 30, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, oh, Mama Fee was right. Oh my God.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. The one thing I did trust in the house was every time I got that gut feeling about something, I was right. Now, a lot
Yeah.
of times I couldn't pinpoint where the chaos was coming from, but I always knew. And after a while, I could even tell who it was coming from, what it was about, because that's when I really started watching behavior. And I said all along, you ain't really got a whole conversation. Just watch how people start acting. And when people start removing themselves from the room, the conversation gets less. They start feeding you less information, and you feel like now people you align with, they getting information from you, but they ain't telling you nothing. And that's when I started saying, oh, okay, I think I could be in trouble. And again, the two people that I thought I initially was the closest to were the two that were really using my relationship with them against me.
Well, let me say this. On part of me, because I had a conversation, and I told you this, I had a conversation with Jared when he had won the veto.
Yeah.
And I was like, listen, obviously, if either one of them goes down, Miss Sari goes up. With us three, me, Jared, Miss Sari, our votes, and I think maybe you needed 5 votes
Yes.
that week. I can't remember what it was. I think maybe you needed 5 votes that
I
week. I'm
needed
like,
5 votes.
with
Yes.
our three votes, I feel confident that we can get these other 2 votes. And using the veto might expose you in a way that could be detrimental, because this is after, and like, wait, let me take it back. Because this is after the Heisem and Red thing happens, right?
Right.
I'm like, we are now in a position where, as far as men who are on our side and align with us, Jared is now the strongest, capable, able. He's, you know what I mean?
Yes,
He's the
yes,
strongest for us on this side. So I don't know if it's smart for you to put, you as a Jared, for you to put yourself in a position where you could be targeted, because then the rest of us are chopped liver. So this is the conversation that I was having with Jared. But let me little bit, because I think that for me early on in the game, the professors stood a really good chance.
They
I
really
really do.
did. They really did.
I really feel like we had everything that we needed to make it
All
far.
the way to the final
We
7.
had everything that we needed to make it far. And now in hindsight, obviously you made it to Final Four, so it just is what it is. But now in hindsight, in terms of the Heisem vote, like, how did that, from your perspective, how did it just change the landscape of the game when we evicted Heisem? Like, what do you think happened?
Well, even though sometimes the part of me does wish that maybe I had not evicted Heisem. I'll be honest, from the very beginning, I had a connection with Heisem, and I loved Heisem to death. He just started getting so strong in his gameplay and trying to control everything and everybody. And I think that's when we really got into everybody has to vote the same, and we got to have this unanimous votes, and then you got to tell them what to do. And he wanted to start telling everybody how to vote, and that's when everybody was afraid to make their own decision. That really was the something that made me say, I I don't know about Heisem because one, we had said in that room that day in the comic room, okay, we're in an alliance. We can't get in any other alliances. Any information we get, we got to come back and feed it to everybody in the room. And then we find out that Heisem has all these other alliances that he's trying to connect with all these other people. And so it's like, no, wait a minute. You got information that we don't have. You want us to feed you everything we know, and you align with 2/3 of the house, but you don't want us to be aligned with anybody. And that's where I think my gut feeling said, even though I think he would be a strong player for us, and it might carry us to all of us to the end, you never know when he might flip and you become one of his targets. And that was my fear. And so it's like, it seemed like once that happened, though, it just broke our whole. Now nobody trusted anybody. And
Yeah.
then after the red vote, we were really done.
We were listening. You ain't watched all the episodes back then, so you'll see I had these little moments in the storage room. I was so mad about that Heisel vote. I was like, no, why are we going after Heisel? We did not need to go after. We needed to. Well, personally, on a personal level, you know, I love Heisel, and obviously you love Heisel. We all love Heisel. Is as good as it gets. And I really, really, when we were talking about getting rid of him, I was like, oh, this is a bad idea. But also in that moment, because Heisem and I were starting to get closer, I didn't want to put myself in a position to where it was like, why are you fighting so hard to keep Heisem?
Right.
So I was saying, like, y'all, I don't think this is a good idea. And I didn't push it the way that I should have.
Yeah.
That for me is probably one of my biggest regrets in the game, because I really do feel like this is a totally different game if we keep Heisem in this game, because that means these guys have to work so much harder to get to where they need to go going to Heisem. Right. Like, we can give him a run for their money.
He was a true competitor, and had he stayed in the game, them 7 vetoes that Jag got, and then back and forth HOHs between Jared and Cameron, that wouldn't have happened, because Heisem would have been in the mix. Now, if we hadn't done it that week, would somebody probably have done it a week or two later? Maybe, but you never know. Heisem may have won the HOH and been able to put somebody else out that was trying to go after him. So there was a lot of bad moves that I think were made. Hindsight 2020. You never know how it would have played out. You just don't know.
Wait, you remember us trying to flip the red vote?
Yes. yes. Stupid as all get out. You came to me and said, oh my God, you guys, I think there's a problem. I think Jag is a bigger problem there. We realized he got all these people aligned, they holding conversations. So, and I jump up 6 something in the morning and run into 3 of them's room. That was stupid as all get out. But I think that's when they actually really started feeling like they couldn't trust me. Because I ran in the room, Bowie Jane was in the room, and I forgot all about Bowie Jane because I was so excited to pass him on that information. And then we flipped from actually Red to Jag. But what they didn't really, because Red really was the target. And see, you know, when Jared put up Red and Cameron, we had said, if one doesn't go, the other one goes. We have to break up that alliance because they had gotten so strong together. And we said, because they're going to try to start running the show and act like they King Tut up in here. And so I kept saying, we can't let this opportunity with Red go away. But after those guys, Sari and Izzy, came to me and said, Red said, you starting to be a liability, you a problem. It's like, oh, well then Red got to be the one to go. And that's how we ended up flipping back to Red, and Red went out the door. Now here's the funny though, nobody ever told me why Red made that statement, what he was even referring to. To this day, I still don't know. I'm hoping that after I watch the show, I'll be able to figure that out, but I don't know.
No, I don't. I remember because that morning, I woke up that morning. It was early in the morning because I didn't do my hair the night before. You know, I always do my hair on Wednesday. I would believe, so people think I did my hair all day, every day, but that's not here. So I didn't do my hair that Wednesday before. So I wake up like at 5 o'clock in the morning on this Thursday morning, and I'm like, something on my spirit is telling me that it gotta be Jag this week. And I remember you waking up to come to go to the shower, and I was like, Mama Feet, I think I think we got to do. I think this is what we need to do. You go in there, we having a conversation, and we couldn't really talk it out the way that we wanted to,
Right.
because Bowie Jane is now here, so we're kind of like talking around what it is we try.
Right.
What's happened? Red is awake this morning. You remember he was
Right.
up.
He got up early.
He was up making pancakes this morning. So Red looking at us like, what the hell is going? It was a mess. And I remember pulling in the storage room, and I'm like, listen, it gotta be Jag. Jag gotta go this week. It gotta be. And he was like, all right. And so that whole day, I'm thinking like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. And then you come to me. I think I went in the back to go change my clothes after I do my hair. Your exact words is, Red done said to them that I'm a liability, so his ass gotta fucking go. And I was like, all right.
You're like, oh no.
All right, here we go.
And found out from Cerise, she told me probably the last week or so we was in the house, they deliberately did that because they wanted Red to go.
Listen, Red and Cam as a duo was definitely scary. But for me, in my mind, I'm like, in this moment, I know for a fact, if we blindside Bowie Jane on this boat, and seemingly blindside Cam on this boat, who's supposed to be with us, right?
Right.
They now have no reason to not go to the other side, which is Jag, Blue, Matt. They have no reason to not do this at this point. I don't know what the idea is, and I don't know how good of an idea it is to not share this with Bowie Jane, because then she no longer buys into the bye-bye bitches. She's no longer brought into Professors, Legend 25, whatever it was that we had at that moment, and literally all of that stuff came true.
Right.
And so, you know, when I'm sitting on the plane, coming home, week 9, 65 days in this house, don't make jewelry. I'm just sitting here like, this is some bull.
This is some bull. I can't believe it.
This is some bull. Listen, that was a mess. So I get evicted week 9. We sit on the block next to each other. It was so, my heart.
I know. And I was so mad at Cameron. I said, why did you put me up next to Mimi? I said, you didn't need to pull Mimi into this. You could have sat anybody next to me. Why you sitting Mimi next to me and blow up her game? I was so mad at him. It's like, well, because I said, see, that's your problem. I said, first of all, I'm not sure why you have chased me from week 1. I don't know what that was, but I found out after the fact that he had been fed a lot of negative information about me, and some of it wasn't true, but he believed everything he was told. And so I on the back end, because Blue said it to me, she said, and all of them said, Mama Fee, you talk too much. But I deliberately, sometimes I was actually feeding information because I wanted to. It's like, well, everybody keeps lying on me. I'm just going to tell you what everybody is really saying behind the scenes. Because, you guys keep saying Mama Fee said, no, I'm passing on information they said. I haven't said that. I'm repeating what they said. But there were people that were actually just making up stories or always flipping the story. Like the story where, again, Suri and Izzy came to me. They told everybody I went to them. The story where Corey and America came to me and you. They told everybody that me and you came to them. So it was always whatever happened, they flipped it and said, Felicia said. Felicia did.
That was that final 4. First of all, I had no idea. I genuinely thought that you had gone to Corey and pitched the final 4 to him.
Absolutely
because
not.
He brought it to me on 2 separate occasions. Once he brought it to me, we were sitting on a hammock, and he was like, hey, I was talking to Mama Fee, and she pitched the idea of us being in a Final 4 together, but I was like, that's not really Mimi's style. Like, Mimi doesn't really. So, like, and I was like, yeah, I didn't know about that. So, and he was like, yeah, well, and we just kind of left it at that.
Right.
Nothing. Like 2 or 3 days go by. He brings it to me again. We're sitting out by the pool, and he's like, so about this Final 4 with me, you, America, and Mama Fee, like, what's the vibe? Like, what do you? And I'm like, listen, I'm not opposed to it. I think for all 4 of us, that's probably the most feasible pathway to the end. Like, it levels the playing field for us in a way to where we can actually compete against one another and have the opportunity to win against us 4.
Right.
So I'm not opposed to it, but I remember saying, I'm like, but if you playing and it's not real, I'm
win.
good.
my
Like,
time. And that's what I told him. I said, if you guys ain't serious, I don't mind doing it. But the one thing I never, for whatever reason, I never trusted Corey game wise, because you never knew when he was being truthful and when he was just saying shit just to say shit. And as soon as we agreed to it, what they do, they go out and tell everybody we tried to get a Final Four with him. So for them, it really was never real, I don't think.
literally that next day, I wake up in the morning, I'm brushing my teeth. Blue is like, come meet me in the game room. I go meet Blue in the game room, and she's like, so I heard that y'all got a Final Four with literally the next
day.
Get that. It hadn't even been 12 hours. It literally was not 12 hours. The very next day, I wake up, I'm brushing my teeth. A Blue is like, I heard this. I was like, oh yeah, I heard about that, but I don't know. I don't know nothing about that. I'm just like, I was like, oh my, because honestly and truthfully, I did think that was a very feasible pathway to the end for all four of us.
And nobody would have suspected it.
Nobody would have suspected it. I did think that it was but what I did know is that it was always built on rocky foundation, right? Like, there was so much distrust amongst Corey doesn't really trust you, and you don't really trust Corey,
right?
Erica kind of have like it's on and off trust, so like the trust was never really solidified for us to do the way that I think would have actually worked.
Right.
But if we wanted it to, it could have worked.
It could have. If everybody would have just stayed serious, and again, I think because one, Corey and America had so many alliances, they were tapped into everybody in the house as well. They were trying to stay aligned with everybody. I think everybody in the house was trying to stay aligned with everybody in the house. And that's the problem. You can't be aligned with everybody in the house. One of your alliances has to be a real alliance.
Yes.
So, yeah, and I remember, actually, I saw in one of the feeds that I've looked at already where America says, because remember when we had the confrontation after the veto thing, and she says, I was the one that had started this alliance, blah, blah, blah. And she goes to the diary room, she says, now, was Felicia telling the truth when she said that we went to them, or, was I lying when I said that she came to us? Well, yeah, but was I going to tell everybody in the house that I was lying? Absolutely not. So she admitted that they were lying and what I had said was true.
It was okay, so of all of the final twos this season, what was your real final two? Because the people want to know, who was your real final two with this season?
So I knew after Izzy that mine and Cerie's final two was never real, because I knew that I didn't feel like I could trust her all the way. I tried to stay with her, but I still knew that it was a final two where I would always have to be looking behind my back to see what she was doing. When I made that final two with you, that one was actually real. And that's why I was mad when Cameron put both of us up on the block. It's like, oh my God, no, he didn't. And I think because once you and me really got connected, then everybody just put two and two together and said because I never said we had a final two. But everybody assumed we had a final two, so then they figured they had to get rid of one of us.
And the crazy thing about that is that we really didn't get close until you and Izzy the week that you and Izzy were on the block is when we started.
There you go. So that's when our true connection came.
Everybody was like, oh, well, you and Mama Fia are a duo. Y'all have been close this whole game. And I'm like, I wasn't more or less close to Mama Fia than I was to anybody else. So the idea that we have been working in tandem or as a duo all season, I was just like, especially the week we were on the block, I was like, y'all, that's not true.
But
I mean, obviously,
you know who was putting that out there? Corey. Corey was making everybody believe that they're a duo and they're a final two and they've been together the whole game. At the end of the game, then everybody started saying I had a final two with Blue. I don't know where they got that from. Me and Blue never had a final two. But everybody was talking about, that's why Matt and Jag and Bowie James said, oh, I don't know, we got to be worried because, Felicia and Blue have a final two. Because when they wanted to vote Blue out, now, I didn't realize that Jag had told Cerie, Bowie Jane, and Matt that Blue really was his target. And I kept defending what he had told me. Oh, no, Blue is the pawn, and we're really going after America. And I was like, no, he wouldn't do that to Blue. Because they had been tight from the beginning of the game, and I thought, would he really do that to her? And then I said, you are going to tell her, right? And when I realized on the day of, he still never planned to say anything, was just going to blindside that girl, I said, no, I ain't going to let you do that. That's not right. Because she thinks she's staying here in this final five. She rocked with you from the beginning. You're just going to throw her under the bus? And they
Well,
were mad at me for that.
I knew that her and Corey had after she was put on the block next to Jerry during the double.
Yeah.
I think that's when that relationship started, and you could just tell, like you could see the dynamic of the relationship start to change a little bit. She was partly surprised by going up on the block against Jared, because up until that point, all of the conversations, at least the ones that I heard, was that it was going to be Jared and Miss Cerie, and then Corey did Jared and Blue, and so I think she was a little disappointed by that. So that's where and obviously I'm not speaking for her, but that's where I think the relationship started to like change a little bit, and I think they just weren't able to like get back. They were definitely targeting each other for sure. So that was okay. So we didn't get to see any of we as in pre-jury didn't get to see any of the jury questions or any of the final two answers.
Okay. You did?
But no, we didn't. I didn't see a jury question or a final two answer at all. We were backstage waiting to come on, so we didn't get to see any of that. But before coming to finale, we had heard from Dr. Will, Dr. Will that got on Beyonce's internet and said that y'all had a very messy jury roundtable. But what we saw in the actual edit, it didn't seem that messy. So what happened at the jury roundtable that we missed? Because we heard it was messy, but it didn't really look that messy.
Well, and I haven't gotten that far, so I don't know what they showed, but there was a lot of conversation, like shortly after I came in, just talking. I hugged everybody when I came in, but about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes in, Cameron kept throwing digs at me and like looking at me like and finally I just said, you know what, Cameron? I said, stop it. I ain't gonna let you do that to me no more. I said, you have had a fixation on me almost from the beginning of the game. I said, I've never understood why. I said, I assumed that part of it has to do with Red, because you've always blamed me for Red going home. I said, and I'm not sure why. I said, because when I came to you and told you that Cerie and Izzy were the ones that came to me an hour and a half before that vote, and that's what caused that vote to flip, I said, you never believed that. And he said, because I know it was a lie. And I said, Cerie, tell him what happened. I said, you know darn well that's exactly what happened. He said, no, you came to me. I said, no, I didn't. I said, Cerie, tell him what happened. He said, well, Jared told me the night before. I said, and I don't know what conversation you had with Jared the night before and what it is he told you. I said, all I know is the vote was supposed to be Jag. It flipped back to Red. I said, an hour and a half before the vote, I said, because Cerie and Izzy told me that Red said I was a liability and I might have to go. And that's what made me say, oh, well, if you're trying to get rid of me, I'm going to get rid of you first. And we said, okay, let's become the ones that flipped this vote. I said, and everybody else in the house actually wanted Red. I said, so we were going to actually have a split vote, and it was going to be, I think, a 5-4 vote, and it ended up being a unanimous vote. I said, so again, I'm still not sure why you got fixated on me and kept chasing me. I said, when you had all these other bigger targets in the house, now you guys are sitting there talking about, why didn't we go after Jag again? Why didn't we go after Bowie Jane? And that's when somebody said to Cameron, you were HOH twice. You never put Bowie Jane on the block. Why not? You didn't go after Jag again. That when you told everybody in the house you was going after Jag and Blue, you put up Cerie and Felicia. So they're like, so all you guys are talking about, how did we let this happen? Even Cerie was telling everybody, why didn't you guys go after these guys? Why didn't you go? I think she sat there and told Cameron that she thought he got treated bad and was a bad target, unbeknownst. And I'm paraphrasing. And everybody knew that the reason why Cameron became a target was that first week after he flipped on Riley, after he talked about how he loved her like a daughter, then everybody felt like they couldn't trust him. And so it was just a lot of messy stuff. Cerie actually was saying there that she was so disappointed in me because I betrayed her and Jared, and she had never, talked about me, throwing me under the bus. And even Corey said, now, Cerie, he said, now I got to admit, Felicia talked a lot. He said, but I know you aren't going to sit here and say you never lied on Felicia, never threw you under the bus. He said, because that wouldn't be truthful. And then she kind of got quiet. And so it was a lot of crazy stuff that was said. I'm hoping that I can go back and find the live feed on that jury lineup mix up, whatever. It was great
I don't
conversation.
on the jury roundtable. I don't think it is.
You don't think?
No, I think they don't have live feeds in the house. The live feeds are or they don't have live feeds in jury. They just have them in the house. So I don't think it's a live feed on. But
we weren't actually in the jury house. We were on set.
Oh,
I never went to the jury house.
Oh.
So, and I didn't realize that Cerie went to the jury house and she was the last one to go into the house. I never got to go to the jury house. When I left, I went back to the hotel. And I'm like, wait a minute, what just happened? I don't get to go to the jury house. They said, no, because they're all coming out of the house tomorrow. You aren't going to the house. You're going straight back to the hotel. So I went to the hotel from the 96th day till day 100, and then met everybody back up in the the studio again. So that was a live something that they did. Where we did the haunted house, the nether region. That's where we did the live jury roundtable at.
Oh.
So I think you can go back and pull it.
Oh, no, I don't think it's no live feeds, but that's not y'all was getting. Listen, the jury roundtable sounds very messy.
No, it was. He asked some right questions. There was a lot of back and forth. People were saying whether they thought Jag should win, and I think people's decisions changed from those conversations to finale night, because a lot of people were saying that we're talking more like Matt might be the one to pick. If Bowie Jane landed in the final two chairs, I actually really believed that Bowie Jane might land in one of them final two chairs. But Jag won. He threw that HOH veto. I don't remember which one at the end. And I have to say, I am, a part of me is pleased that he did bring Matt to the end, because at least he stayed loyal to their final two. If nothing else, I think that's the one thing he did right. I was irritated, though, when I look back and I look at some feeds and stuff, and, me and Jag talked a lot on faith and spirituality and faith of the mustard seed. And, behind the scenes, I'm seeing where he's saying, bump all of that and all that faith of a mustard seed shit that she's talking. And I'm so tired of hearing about that, and bump her religion. See. And that's why I say, I can get with people when they keep stuff that's game stuff, but when you really start being mean spirited and it goes to more of a personal level, that's where I step back a little and say, so when you was sitting there pretending like you was praying, I don't know, you just say, oh, what just happened? Okay.
Mama Feet, now you take it to the max every time I tell you that.
Oh, well, I'm crossing that line again, saying what just happened. But here's what I'll also say. I've had all of them come up and apologize for stuff that was said, stuff that was done, because them live feeds showed me a lot of conversations where it's like, oh my God. I mean, Cameron said to Jared, I'm so tired of Mama Fee walking around with that effing Bible and acting like she's so holier than thou. Who says stuff like that? Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it's like, I played the game, but I don't play God.
Hello.
So I just said something.
Yeah.
So when I look at the live feeds and I hear negative comments like that, it makes me say, oh, okay, let me step back from some of that crazy.
Oh, okay. Let's bring it down a notch. Let's switch gears here.
Let's get happy again.
Let's switch gears here a little bit. So you said that the conversations that y'all were having during the jury roundtable, it kind of skews how people decide to vote. You and Miss Cerie are the only two to vote for Matt in the final vote to take home all the money. How did you come to that vote? Like, what's your thought process in making that decision?
Now, going in, I still had not totally decided who I wanted to give my vote to. So I really was waiting to see who was going to be sitting in the final two chairs. Now, outright, do I think that Jag deserved it? Yes. I'm not even going to lie. Do I think that Jag played the best game? Yes. because Jag was able to manipulate people through that entire game. Jag got put out by unanimous vote and came back. Jag won 7 vetoes. Jag took me off the block twice. Jag mastered people in that game. I ain't gonna lie. Jag was able to lie in your face, and that soft, calm presence that he had made you just believe and trust all along that he was your ace in the hole. And in the end, I started feeding Jag a lot of information. Now, here's why. Because I realized that Sari was way closer to Matt than I was. And I knew that when push came to shove, Matt was going to keep Sari over me. So I knew I had a better relationship with Jag. So I had to figure out how to get Jag to have some mistrust with Sari, because what I also knew is that Jag was running Matt. Whether Matt ever wants to acknowledge that or not, Jag really was the one that was pulling all the strings for everybody between him and Bowie Jane. They were never going to make a move that Jag didn't approve. And I knew that. So if I could get closer to Jag, who I knew would in the end would save me over them, then I was still going to be okay. That's how I ended up staying in the house longer than Sari. Because Matt and Bowie Jane would have put me out. Jag kept me. I almost had Jag convinced to take Matt down and keep me in that final 3. He was close. He was close. But in the end, I got tired of chasing. I got tired of talking, and I got tired of trying to manipulate, basically. And I just said, I don't want to do it anymore. He's got to make a decision, and whatever works for him, I'm good. Because at that point, day 96, I was tired. And I just said, if I leave, I leave. And I'm okay. I made it 96 days, and I'm okay with that.
Amen.
And I think actually Jag's demeanor when he gave that final, tell us why you deserve to win, I don't know. He just kind of had such an aggressive final speech that it was kind of a turnoff to me, because that was the first time I heard him become so assertive and aggressive that I didn't like that look on Jag. And I was like, no, you didn't have to throw Matt under the bus like that. I knew that Jag was going to be a better presenter than Matt. I knew that Matt wasn't going to sell himself well, but I didn't like the fact that Jag took advantage of that, because all he had to do was get up and talk like he had talked for the rest of the 100 days and still said the same thing, but said it in a nicer presentation. And so with that, that's what made me say, you know what? I'm giving this to Matt. Even though I know you deserve to be the winner and I know you're probably going to win, I'm still giving this to Matt. And that's what made me give it to Matt.
Oh, Mama Fee, girl, listen, that is a mess. Okay.
A mess. Because at the end of the day, I still feel like you always have to be kind to people. And I just thought in that moment, I didn't think Jag was kind to Matt.
Well, listen, me personally, he took him to final 2, so I don't think he'd get more kinder than that. Because I'm gonna tell you this: if y'all would have saw me in those final 2 chairs, I'd have been like, "No, you didn't. No, she didn't. I did, and I said, and I was."
And that's what Matt should have been doing. He should have let everybody know, look, I used the path to power to him with something, and that's the only reason why he's still here. And that's why I say, Matt, somebody needed to be there to coach Matt on how to do his presentation at that final 2. He should have been working with somebody when there was 4 or 5 people trying to prep him for his but again, ain't nobody gonna do that, because if you're the one sitting next to him, you don't want to prep him to beat you. And so he didn't sell himself well, and that's really why he lost. If he had made the right presentation, I still believe Matt could have talked himself into the win like Jag did. Jag sold himself that night and got that win.
Yeah, well, I've talked to Jag since, and Jag is like, yeah, going into that, like, selling yourself is kind of where you need to be, because at this point, it's all out. Like, you have nothing else to lose, and I'm pretty sure that probably going into it, Jag probably thinks that, and I think he's even said that. He said that on the package before you got to the final vote, is that he assumed that y'all were gonna give it to Matt. Off of just pure jury management. Like, Jag felt like he probably burnt more bridges.
Exactly.
Did more backstabbing than Matt had done, because he made more promises to people that he wasn't ultimately able to keep than Jag was, or than what Matt was. So I think going into it, I was also like, oh, they are probably giving this to Matt, although I do feel like Jag deserved to win. I was like, oh, they're probably going to give this to Matt. And then so the votes come out and it's just you and Miss Rhea. I'm like, ooh, I wanted to know what really happened at that jury roundtable, because I was like, this? Because we don't get to hear the speeches. We don't get to hear the questions. Like, we don't hear any of that. We just get out there and we see what the votes say when y'all see us sitting on stage. So I don't know what happened.
Okay.
Any of
Yeah, I really think that the conversations that night, the questions that were asked, and they weren't, they asked Matt, tell us what things you did where you were the influencer and made the big moves. Because it always seemed like, Jag was Batman and you were Robin. So tell us when you were Batman. And again, Matt was never really able to sell himself in his conversation. And I think that's what cost him his win. I think if he had been as good a communicator as Jag was, he probably would have won that.
Mm.
That was his downfall. Because he should have talked about his relationships more. He should have talked about how he used that path to power. He should have talked about how, if he was throwing comp, he should have told, I threw a comp on this week, that week, that week. He had to be able to lay out what he did strategically in his game and how deliberate he was in playing his game. And he just was not able to do that. And
I mean, I think from my purview, just having lived with Matt for 65 days, I think they both have very similar qualities in terms of their social game. Yeah. Like, Jag is very charismatic and like very funny, and you just like to hang around him as a friend. And like, Jag has that going for himself. You just want to hang around him and just have a good time and laugh and kiki. Whereas Matt, you never feel like Matt is telling you a lie. Like, you always feel like Matt is telling you the truth. He just feels so authentic and so trustworthy. Right. Like, you sit have a one-on-one conversation with him and you feel like this man is not lying to me. Even if you like, in my heart, I'm like, I think he lied, but you just don't want to believe that. Maybe just something about Matt that makes you not want to believe that he's not telling you the truth, even when you should know better. And I think that's also a strength. So going into them being the final two, I was like, oh, this is it's gonna be a tough decision to make, because essentially at this point you are deciding between a heavily competitive, like, athletic game, comp beast game, and like a strong social game. And so, yeah, listen, when I saw y'all come down to the final decision, I was like, okay, I want to know what really happened in that jury roundtable, because Dr. Will said it was messy, and it was okay in the edited episode, but
also was revealed in that jury roundtable was that even though Jag did a lot of lying, people knew when he was lying. Matt
Jag's not that good of a liar.
Matt did way more lying, but people, I think, they didn't realize it until late in the game. They said Matt was lying through the whole game. Now, when you go back and you look at those live feeds, Matt had a little bit of a mean little spirit in him too, but you didn't see it unless you were in the room with him when he was doing some of this underhanded cutthroat stuff and saying some of these underhanded cutthroat things about people. So Matt showed you who he wanted you to see, that all-American nice guy. But with the 3 or 4 people that he was truly tight with and aligned with, Matt said some stuff behind closed doors. And I think somehow that probably got out to people more than he realized. And so that nice all-American guy that everybody wanted to believe he was, they found out he really wasn't.
Marvelous feed.
That came out at the round table. It's like, oh no, Matt did a whole lot of lying in the game. Oh, okay, I guess I missed all of that.
Well, the crazy thing is obviously both of us are fans of the show and have watched it for years. And before you go into the house, you think that you have such a clear idea of how you want to play the game, like how you can easily tell if people are lying to you, like what game moves are good and which ones are not. But honestly, when you are in the game, you are always operating on half truths and half information, and it's really hard to navigate that in a way that is like productive to your the visual game, because you just don't know, like on the live feeds or even in the edited episodes, like you're following specific storylines here, and you're privy to specific information that you may not be privy to in the game, which is how, like, people are like, I come out there like, how did you know brown sugar bears was the real thing? I'm like, every conversation that all four of us had, it felt like the real thing to me. You know what I mean? So you're always just operating on half information and like half truth. So to the point of like, you think people are telling you one thing and you feel that, you know, one thing is happening when another thing is actually happening is 100% the truth. Okay, I got one last question, because this I want to know. So the last couple weeks that y'all were in the house, there was a lot of conversation about you and Miss Cerie appearing to be or feel like isolated. Did y'all really feel like, what was happening?
Yeah, that's true. And I was a little disappointed in that. That really shifted me. You know, when there was 5 of us left, it was Matt, Jag, and Bowie Jane, and then me and Cerie. And for 2 or 3 days, they basically stayed upstairs in the HOH, and me and Cerie were downstairs. And it was they wasn't talking to us. If we cooked, they would eat something. And so when we realized that, so to give you an example. We had asked Mr. B, I think when we got to day 90, could we get some, some drinks, some wine, so that we could celebrate day 90. It's like, there's only 10 days left. And finally, Mr. B brings us a bottle of wine. Now, again, here's what people needed to know. Bowie Jane had a bottle of wine from her HOH that she still had. Matt had a bottle of wine from his HOH. So they had 2 bottles of wine amongst the 3 of them. They still took the 1 bottle of wine that they gave us and 2 beers, I think, and they made us split that 1 bottle of wine 5 ways. And then they went upstairs after we split our 1 bottle of wine 5 ways and drank the other 2 bottles with just the 2 of them. They didn't invite us upstairs to ask if we wanted to join in. They didn't invite us upstairs to just sit and chat and hang out. So me and Cerie really were just kind of downstairs by ourselves, like we were this group in the house, and it was like 2 different alliances in the house. And it was very, very obvious that they were isolating us. And then I think 2 nights before we had that last eviction, before Cerie left, I even went in the kitchen. Cerie was in the bedroom, and I went in the kitchen because I was irritated. So I said I was going to go say something. And I went into the kitchen, and Matt, Jag, and Bowie Jane were all in there. I stood at the counter for all, say, 20 to 30 minutes. None of them said anything to me. It was like I wasn't even standing there. They were talking all around me. They were fixing themselves something to eat. And so finally I said to Matt, Matt, you still have some pineapples and stuff up here on the counter that you left that you would grill the other day. I said, so you probably want to put that in the refrigerator. And nobody's still saying, they ain't even making eye contact with me. And I'm just standing there at the end of the counter just waiting to see how long will they let me stand here before they acknowledge that I'm actually standing here. Finally, Bowie Jane, she gets this smirky look on her face, and she's trying not to laugh. I see her looking at Jag and trying to see if I can see her. She's like side-eyeing me. And so finally I looked at her. I said, what's so funny, Bowie Jane? Oh, I just thought I was getting ready to spill some food out of my mouth, and I was just trying not to laugh. And so then when she realized that I had seen her, she got up and she went outside. Matt got up and he went outside. And then I stood there and I said, Jag, what's going on? What do you mean? I said, don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. I said, I don't like what I'm feeling right now. I said, you guys are actually almost isolating me and Cerie like we just don't matter in the house. I said, now, in another day or 2, there's only going to be 4 people in the house. I said, you guys going to do this and leave 1 person in the house downstairs by themselves all day long for a week? I said, are you guys going to be those people? I said, because this don't feel right. I said, and I didn't realize that that's who you were. So I was irritated. I'm sorry I didn't mean to. And I was just fixing my food, and I wasn't really talking to anybody. I said, no, I know you felt what just happened, because I felt what just happened. And I even went into the diary room. I said, it bothers me that at this stage in the game, when we've been in here this long, these guys can do people this way. I said, and I'm trying to be nice in my conversation. I said, but I think everybody that's watching can feel what's going on. I said, and I don't like that. I said, and this is the kind of stuff that has happened this entire game. People feel like they can do you any kind of way and it don't matter. And I said, and I don't like that. And so I kind of got in my feelings over that. And when I was into those last, let's see, do three left on 93, I left on 96. For 3 days, I was pretty much by myself. I think one day, I think it was day 94 or 95, they actually closed the HOH room down. And it was supposed to be for a couple hours, and it ended up being for dang near the whole day. Now, this is my gut feeling, this is my theory, and I'm sticking to it. I think they did it as a way to force those guys downstairs so that they wouldn't leave me downstairs by myself. One day I literally sat downstairs at the new table. They brought in the table for four. I sat downstairs at that table by myself, literally all day long, playing solitaire by myself. And they stayed upstairs in the HOH.
Oh.
Yeah. And I just said, you know what? And that's when I felt like it's time for me to go. I don't even care that I don't make it to the final three, the final two, because this kind of stuff, this will make me say stuff that I don't want to say, do stuff. And when I felt that kind of negative energy and behavior, I didn't want to be in there. And so I held two conversations with Jag, and I said, I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to beg you to keep me. I said, I told you where I'm coming from. I said, I've been talking to you since almost the beginning of the game. I said, in the last few weeks, month or so, we've really gotten tight. I said, and I've told you, I said, I have not lied to you about anything that I've told you about what's going on. I said, you can trust it, you can say it, you can do whatever you want with it. I said, all I'm going to say is I think it's a mistake to you if you keep Matt. I trusted that you and I had a connection clearly that was not as deep as I thought it was. I said, so do what works for your game. That's all I'm saying. And I didn't say anything else to him about what he was going to do. Now, here's how I knew I was leaving, though. Because on the day, on eviction day, nomination day, you know, Matt, I hear the pooping.
Gizmo.
On the day that I was leaving, Matt packed his bag. Matt didn't even have the decency, all of this stuff, and he didn't take the letters and the pictures of Riley off the wall. That's when I knew it was kind of an arrogance, because you know I was on the block 8 times, and I went all the way through nominations 6 times, and every single time I passed, I put everything in my package, in my suitcases, regardless of what people told me. I never took for granted or wanted to be arrogant enough to think that, oh, I'll leave some stuff, I'm coming back anyway. So that piece bothered me with Matt. Matt was so sure he wasn't leaving, and he didn't. But he didn't have the decency to take all of this stuff down. When I saw him leave that letter from Riley and the pictures on the wall, I knew he wasn't leaving. I didn't say anything. I never said I know I'm leaving. I just said, I know they think I'm stupid and I don't pick up on stuff, but I saw it. I saw all the goofies that they did. And so that's another reason I think why I gave my vote to Matt versus Jag. I didn't like the fact that when Jag was throwing you under the bus, he never had the guts to tell you.
Yeah. I think your microphone.
Oh, was I muffled?
Just a little bit. We can hear you though.
Okay. So yeah, there was some negative energy the last week to 10 days, and it was very draining. It was exhausting.
I mean, honestly, once you get to that point, and I left on day 65 and I was exhausted. I slept for a week. Okay. I was exhausted by day 65. Not even physically, just literally.
You're emotionally drained.
Emotionally drained. And like, not for nothing, honestly, $750,000 on the line. There are very few things that people are not willing to say and not willing to do to get to that chunk of change.
There you go.
I mean, that is a mess.
It was a mess.
So for me, because I've said this and I've had people ask me like, are you bitter or who do you da-da-da-da? And I'm like, for me, on day 65, when I left the house, when I left the game, I left everything that happened, that was said, that was done in the game, because that no longer serves me in the real world. Like I said, I talked about people talked about me, I talked about evicted people, they talked about evicted me, right. I voted people voted me out. Like, it just is what it is. None of that actually serves me in the real world. So right. It was a game, we played it. this is a social game, if nothing else, that is literally supposed to pit you against other people for a chance at $750,000. It's not supposed to make y'all friends. It's not supposed to make y'all like each other. It's not supposed to make y'all give affirmations and speak each other love languages. They want us to rip each other apart
There
for
you
that
go.
$750,000, point blank, period.
Yeah.
So for me, when I left all of that there. I have no issue. I'm not upset about anything because that's it for me.
Doesn't serve, you're right. It doesn't serve you. Am I angry or bitter with anybody? No, because like you said, you don't gain anything from that. And I'll be holding that and them going on with their lives and they thinking twice about me. So you can't. And I realize it is the game. I have to say, I am going to say this though, there's a little bit of disappointment in the sense that I'm all in for talking and telling lies and cheating and stealing and throwing people under the bus when it's strictly game. I think when some of the comments that were made became more personal versus game, that's when it's a little disheartening. And all I say is, when people show you who they are, believe them. And so I saw some stuff that made me say, okay, you just showed me who you are, and I'm believing it all day long. So does it cause me to say, I will, if I see you, I can be cordial, I can be nice. I don't have no ill will, and I really don't. But do I feel like I need to skin and grin and, hey, girl, how you doing? No, I don't feel like I need to do that either. Because I don't know, I kind of draw a line on, again, what was game and what became more some stuff that, even like when I used to hear people call Matt dumb, that offended me. And I'm not Matt. But I just said, that's not, I don't believe you have to do all of that.
Mm-mm.
Even if you actually really think that, you ain't supposed to say that out loud, because now you're going into more of a personal attack. That's where I draw the line with game and just say, don't be that person. Like when I would hear a lot of these guys say, I hate them, it's like, I don't think there's anything that somebody should do in this house to cause you to say, I hate you, because it's a game.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to be careful when you make statements like that, because it's showing something in you. So yeah.
Mm.
But again, I'm not bitter. I don't hold no grudges. I'm going through, and I'm gonna watch the show all the way through, laugh about some crazy stuff. And again, I know I said some crazy stuff, but I tried to keep it game and never say I can't stand her because her breath stink,
Oh,
and her mama probably did. No, see, that's where you're going too far.
okay. Okay. Favorite moment of the season. If you had to pick one.
Oh,
Favorite or funniest moment of the season, if you had to pick one.
I have so many, Mimi. There were so many. I think about when we first did the It's 11:06. That was so fun. When we sat in there, me, you, Jag, and Izzy, and did that the bullshit song, and we clapped us out of rhythm. When I fell in the hot tub, that was stupid as all get out. In Cockadoodle Zoom, when I couldn't get up and I had to roll up to get to my egg thing. Uh, just crazy stuff. I think probably for me, one of the highlights really was winning that HOH in week 3. It gave me a lot of confidence. I really realized it was a random, something that anybody could have won, and I was the one that happened to win it. So praise be the Lord. Um, I think when me and you connected, I felt that energy. And I should have to say, when we did that girls' dinner with the 4 of us, that was one of the highlights of the season for me.
Oh, the girls' dinner was such a good break from.
Yes.
It was such a good break from the game.
Yes.
It was delicious.
Yes.
Like, oh my God. That was a highlight for me. Another highlight for me, which I'm sure they probably did show, was the morning, I want to say, of the veto ceremony that you and I were on the block, and the music was still on, and we were dancing to oh my God, was it Stevie Wonder?
Yes.
The music was still on. It's probably like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. The music is still on, and we're just, ain't no place I'd rather be than with you.
Yes.
Oh, that I loved. That was toward the end. That was my last week in the house.
Right.
But
right.
that morning when we just got up and danced. And I feel like they played the song all the way to the end because we were just out there
Because we was having fun.
That was a highlight for me. The girls' dinner was a highlight for me. It's honestly, so many moments. Like, there were just so many moments that I wish I could go back and relive again and again and again. Because if nothing, like, this game is hard, and it is like, it takes everything out of you. It is mentally, emotionally draining. Like, I had full body cramps coming out of the pressure cooker. Like, I was having muscle spasms over my entire body.
I believe that.
There, like, literally just from standing there. And so there are just so many moments that yeah, it was Al Green, not Stevie Wonder, sorry y'all, it was Al Green. But yeah, having just, if I could go back and relive it again, I need a little break now, because
girl, I'm trying to figure out who's gonna be in that Christmas thing they doing.
Oh, so it ain't you, so you ain't got the call yet?
Oh no, I haven't gotten a call. I have not gotten a call.
Oh, well, listen, I had the time of my life. It was hard.
It was. People don't realize on TV they make it look so easy. Even like today, we was watching the first HOH competition with the balance beam, and Dwayne was like, "I don't know why everybody fought and that." Like I said, Dwayne, what we learned inside is that this stuff that you be seeing on TV saying that looks so easy. I said nothing that we ever did was easy. None of it.
I can't think of one thing that we did where I was like, "Oh, yeah, this was a cake." Everything was hard. It is literally the intricate and complicated and nuanced game that you could ever play in your life.
Yeah.
But I had the time of my life. Like, definitely a highlight of my life. And I can't wait to go back and tell my kids and my grandkids, like, listen, not only was she fine, but she went
Girl, I think one of my highlights was watching you get prepped and ready for the nomination nights with that hair stuff. Girl, I ain't mad at all.
Hey, Jessie is in here. Hi, Jessie. Thank you for changing our lives. We love you, love, love. I had fun, Mama. You spilled a whole bunch of tea today. I hope you know that.
I spilled a whole bunch of tea. So let me ask a question. So I'm live on your feed. That means it's not live on mine, just on yours, right?
Live on both of ours. So if somebody goes to your page, or if they come to my page, they can see this.
Oh, okay.
So it's live on both of our pages. We need to make sure y'all follow us on TikTok. So next time we can take the next conversation to TikTok. I'm at mimi.hayes. And Mama Fee, what's your TikTok name?
TikTok name is at Mama Fee 27.
At Mama Fee 27. And what's your Twitter, Mama Fee? So people follow you on Twitter.
Oh, girl. Now you see, you got me to tell them just go to Twitter and put in Mama Fee, and it'll pull me in, because I don't remember off the top of my head. That's really bad. Felicia something 9. Felicia,
I think it's 9.
Yeah, it's Felicia Cannon 9.9 or something like that.
I think it might be Felicia.Cannon9 on
Twitter. Yeah. Felicia.Cannon9. That's what I remember. That there's a dot in between my first and last name, and then there's a .9 for sure.
Well, listen, I love you deep, Mama Fee. You my girl. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm so happy that we got to have moments in the house where we could literally just be. I had my wall up so much in this house, in this game, which I think was to my demise and to my detriment. But you were one of the people in the house that I could literally just have a genuine conversation with, where I didn't feel like I had to have my guard up. And I really do appreciate you for that, because that was hard. I left my husband a month after my wedding. Yeah. I'm an only child. I'm an introvert. All of the things that I didn't think would impact me that much in the house has such an impact on me. And thank you for just being you. I love you. I appreciate you so much. The people love you, girl. You know your icon.
Girl, I don't know what I'm trying to do, but I want you to know, Mimi, that I appreciated you. I look at you as a daughter. You had a great spirit in there. People never really had anything negative to say about you, and you should know that. So that's a compliment to who you are and how you played the game. And so I appreciate you, the talks we had, the support I always felt like I got from you. Because in the end, the one person that I knew was always in my corner was me. And I appreciate that, me Cole. I appreciate that. I want you to know we got to stay in touch. And I'm still waiting to meet you, hubby. And what's the name of the dog, Gigi?
Gizmo.
Gizmo. You know, I was always like, I get the first letter. Girl, Gigi, I be messing up some names. But listen, we got to do this again, maybe in a couple of weeks. And when I start doing some TikToks and cooking, I'm going to let y'all know.
Yes, we love you, Mama Fee. The people love you down. I was asking who I should go live with, and every single person said Mama Fee. I said, oh, okay, well, let me get Mama Fee in here because the people want to talk to my girl, Mama Fee. Let me get Mama Fee in here. So I love you down deep, deep, deep. I appreciate you more than you know, and I'm going to text you, girl.
All right.
Love you.
Take care and have a great Thanksgiving. You know, enjoy your family, your husband, and just have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I need you to call us and let us know when you're getting ready to be having a baby.
Oh, I'm gonna FaceTime you on Thanksgiving, but I definitely call you when baby Snyder on the way. You know, y'all pulling up to the baby shower, so I'll call you.
Okay. Oh, and I'm looking at it is Felicia.cannon.9.
Okay. On Twitter. Make sure y'all follow
on Twitter. All right,
love
smooches, I love you. Have a good night.
You too.
All right.